An Albanian criminal has avoided deportation from the UK. The reason? Because his son dislikes foreign chicken nuggets. Yep, you heard that right. His son dislikes foreign chicken nuggets. Hi, I'm Miriam Cates, and this is GBN Originals. As expected, this news story has sparked widespread debate and criticism, so let's look into this case a bit closer. This case, as reported by The Telegraph, highlights the complexities of immigration law and its intersection with human rights legislation. While the story may seem absurd on the surface, it raises important questions about the state of UK immigration policy, the role of the judiciary, and the broader challenges of enforcing deportations in a system under immense strain. The case centres around an Albanian man who was facing deportation due to his criminal record. However, an immigration tribunal ruled that deporting him would be unduly harsh on his 10-year-old son, citing the child's sensitivity to food as a key factor. The tribunal accepted arguments that the boy's distaste for foreign chicken nuggets would make life in Albania particularly difficult for him. The decision was made under Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights, or the ECHR, which protects the right to family life. Now, while this ruling may seem laughable, it does reflect a huge problem in the UK immigration law, where human rights claims are frequently used to challenge deportations. According to court documents, this case is one among a record 34,169 outstanding asylum appeals. That's a five-fold increase compared to 2022. The sheer volume of cases has overwhelmed the system, leading to delays and raising questions about its efficiency and fairness. At the heart of this case lies the ECHR, which has been a cornerstone of UK immigration law since its incorporation into domestic law through the Human Rights Act in 1998. Article 8, which guarantees the right to family life, is often invoked in deportation cases where criminals argue that their removal from the UK would hugely disrupt their families. Is this being manipulated and overused to delay or prevent deportations, even in cases involving serious criminality? They point to examples like this one, where a seemingly minor issue, such as a child's eating habits, influenced a legal decision, as evidence that the system is being abused. This tension between enforcing immigration controls and upholding human rights is not new. Successive governments have struggled to strike a balance between these competing priorities, often leading to public frustration and political backlash. The chicken nugget case is emblematic of deeper issues within the UK's immigration system. With over 34,000 outstanding asylum appeals, the system is clearly under significant strain. The backlog has grown exponentially in recent years, fueled by a combination of factors, including increased migration flows, legal challenges, and administrative inefficiencies. The government has sought to address these issues through measures such as fast-tracking deportations and increasing enforcement actions. For example, Home Office data shows a 73% increase in arrests for illegal working in January 2025 compared to the same period last year. However, it's argued that these efforts are undermined by legal loopholes and judicial decisions that prioritise individual rights over broader policy objectives. The rise in asylum appeals also reflects broader geopolitical trends. Conflicts, economic instability and climate change have driven more people to seek refuge in Europe, including in the UK. This has put additional pressure on an already overstretched system, making it harder for authorities to distinguish between genuine asylum seekers and those seeking to exploit legal protections. Immigration has long been a contentious issue in UK politics, and cases like this one only serve to heighten public scrutiny and discontent. Both Labour and Conservative parties are under pressure to demonstrate that they can effectively manage migration while addressing concerns about fairness and security. Reform, of course, has a hard-line stance on immigration, including proposals to freeze non-essential migration and turn back the boats carrying migrants. And this has gained significant traction in recent opinion polls. This has forced mainstream parties to adopt tougher rhetoric on immigration. The media plays a crucial role in shaping public perceptions of immigration policy, and stories like this one are often used to highlight perceived flaws in the system. While it's easy to dismiss this case as absurd and ridiculous, it's an important reminder about the state of our immigration policies and the implications that that has for the UK. It underscores the urgent need for reform within the UK's immigration system. Addressing these challenges will require action on multiple fronts, Reducing the backlog of asylum appeals should be top priority. This could involve increasing resources for immigration courts, simplifying legal procedures, and ensuring that cases are resolved more quickly. Restoring trust in the immigration system will require greater transparency and accountability from both government agencies and judicial bodies. Clear communication about policies and decisions can help address public concerns while countering misinformation. Finally, any long-term solution must tackle the root causes of migration through international cooperation on issues such as conflict resolution, economic development, and climate change mitigation. From overloaded courts to contentious human rights claims, these challenges require thoughtful and comprehensive solutions rather than knee-jerk reactions or sensationalist rhetoric. It's crucial that we put an end to this. As we touched on earlier, this case is not a one-off. The state of the UK immigration system will have far-reaching implications for our economy, for our society, and the overall effectiveness of the immigration system. Below are some of the key potential long-term impacts. While efforts to tighten controls may address some immediate political concerns, they risk creating significant economic, social, and demographic changes over time. A balanced approach that considers both enforcement and integration is essential for building a sustainable immigration system that meets the needs of both migrants and society as a whole. Thank you for watching. This has been Miriam Cates. Don't forget to subscribe to our GB News YouTube channel.
Chicken nuggets, I believe, from Mr. McDonald, a purveyor of chicken nuggets and other delicacies, though apparently you can also get them from Mr. Fortnum and Mr. Mason and other distinguished outlets. Sir John, can I press you to chicken nugget? And Lloyd, will you? They smell terrible, it has to be said, but I shall try one in the interest of research and of my viewers. But if one of you can speak, yes, John, it is clear the ECHR is something we've got to pull out of. That's the clear message from this. These chicken nuggets cannot be an excuse to remain in this country.
Well, no, it's an absurd excuse, and it may be a more extreme one, but there are a lot of these cases where people have no sympathy. These are criminals who've come in and they trump up ways around through this law. I mean, I in the last Parliament, with other colleagues, supported amendments to legislation which would not have required us to pull out of the whole ECHR. I think that's quite an extreme way of tackling this. We'd have just simply asserted in British law that on this issue, the British court had to apply our immigration law, which would have said chicken nuggets are not a suitable excuse.
Which, of course, is what we did when we first joined. We didn't have the right of direct appeal. So you can be within the ECHR and not have your judges overturn your laws the whole time.
Yeah, well, we're a sovereign country again, but we don't behave like one. All we need to do is legislate in Parliament to say this piece of immigration law is going to apply, notwithstanding anything else, and then it would work.
I mean, I find it curious that at one moment you say Denmark has managed to do it, and then you say we wouldn't be able to do it unless we withdraw. Denmark has not withdrawn. So it clearly is...
Italy can't do it.
No, Italy tried to do it in a ham-fisted way. This is the problem.
Denmark's done it for 1 year, so we'll see whether they keep that up.
Italy tried to create a processing centre in Albania where they process people and then sent people back, sometimes without full processing. That's what the European courts were against, not the fact that you can process people harshly when you process them and quickly and send them back quickly. It was the lack of proper due process. Now, in Britain, where we have had disagreements with the courts before, and we've had them on numerous other areas, what ends up winning is politics over law. And so this idea that the law will win is, I'm afraid, just not true. If we look at prisoners' votes,
but it's winning all the time at the moment.
Yeah.
No. If these cases went to the European Court, I think you'd actually find that they wouldn't. Not so many would be won.
So we should appeal the Human Rights Act, so that our courts can't do it.
What is actually happening is our judges are constantly trying to apply it in the most liberal sense, and that can be corrected by a law passed in this country, and it wouldn't
but what about
undermine...
our hopeless Attorney General, who has made one really important change to advice to ministers, that they must not make a decision which has a reasonable chance of being overturned? Now, that means that ministers will always take the least risky option, and actually you need ministers to think, well, there is a legal case for this. It's worth having it settled.
Yes.
Rather than, there's a 55% chance of losing, I won't do it.